Let's go,
Okay.
baby. Excited to be here.
Great to have you. Right, we're on the hour, so if you're ready, I can do a quick introduction, and we can go into the CoinBook project.
Let's go. Start us up.
A warm welcome, everybody, for this WorldCoin Talk Spaces. I'm Glenn, your host. Today we have joined us CoinBook. CoinBook's the first decentralized exchange with peer-to-peer Orderbook exchange. We'll be going into that and more details shortly. But first, King Smith, can you tell us about yourself and how you got involved in the crypto industry?
Yeah, so my background really starts with a lot of social media, marketing, entrepreneurship, just kind of anything and everything I could do over the last 10 years in social media to kind of make waves. And, funny enough, that kind of carried over into my day-to-day job in the Web 2 industry, got me into a couple Fortune 500 positions, working on Facebooks and Twitters. Really just kind of ran with that. And over time, personally had been investing in Bitcoin and Ethereum, and I had kind of caught the idea of what blockchain was, but I wasn't paying attention until probably 2021, when I was actually then brought on to a cryptocurrency like development team. So our team here, we're based in the USA, and we have been working with many different sectors of Web 2 industry, kind of bridging the gap and building smart contracts for them over the company as a whole been doing it for about 10 years now. I've been now doing it obviously for about 2 years on the marketing, the community management, Twitter spaces, whatever it is, just building communities and investor relations for all of these projects that we've done smart contract work for. So that's that. We're, like I said, based in the US, but very soon to be opening up an office in Dubai. So we're very excited for that and moving our steps forward.
Okay, thanks for the introduction there, Kingsford. And yeah, so let's start for the spaces about CoinBook, the project, the decentralized exchange. Give us an introduction.
Yeah, well, I mean, first off, just to kind of clarify, we're actually quite opposite of what a centralized exchange would be. So CoinBook is a decentralized peer-to-peer platform. There are centralized exchanges out there that have order books for peer-to-peer trading, but that's the key thing that makes us stand out is that we are decentralized. So there is no KYC, there is no centralized exchange piece when you're using CoinBook that you have to follow. It is peer-to-peer, party-to-party interaction, just as Satoshi intended with the Bitcoin back in the 2008 white paper. It states even a need for a pure peer-to-peer system for moving electronic money, but without a financial institution, right? So it's quite opposite of what a SEX would be, because we're not a financial institution. We are literally bridging the gap from party to party through smart contract technology. So that's your huge standout piece. We actually launched about 2 weeks ago on the CoreDAO blockchain. We've been talking and kind of scheming through over the last 6 months. We've had this idea of a decentralized peer-to-peer platform. And when CoreDAO came to life, we said, hey, this is the chain that we should really test and play on. So we came to CoreDAO, launched on Core, and did some very good awareness, did a lot of volume, and we saw this need to bring it into Binance. So we've now gone multi-chain. So it's kind of the first step that we're working our way towards cross-chain. We go multi-chain, then we go cross-chain. So we've now introduced Binance Smart Chain, obviously, to the CoinBook platform. So you can trade peer-to-peer, totally decentralized on the core blockchain or the BSC, with obviously more EVM chains come in every week moving forward. And then soon, like I said, when we get to the cross-chain side of things, it's actually going to open up peer-to-peer bridging. So we're very excited for that, because we will be allowing a totally new decentralized wave of cross-chain, chain-to-chain token trades, but no centralized exchange. So you'll never have to go to Binance again, sell your BNB, and get over into Bitcoin. You would be able to sell Bitcoin for ETH, your ETH for BNB, peer-to-peer, no centralized exchange. And it really has a lot of benefits when you're looking at the peer-to-peer trade system compared to even a swap dex, because you get to avoid a lot of things, right? So with CoinBook, you're avoiding marketplace impact or market price impact. You're avoiding slippage. You're avoiding sex fees 100%. If you look at the fees compared to the decentralized and the centralized exchanges out there, we definitely are pretty competitive. And as well as you're keeping full custodian, you have everything to protect your assets when you're trading peer to peer on CoinBook.
Great, King. Yeah, you mentioned cross-chain P2P bridges there. So does that eliminate any security issues and hacking issues that we've had with bridges in the past?
We certainly believe so, and we will make sure that before the peer-to-peer bridges launch in the next week and a half, they will release with a CertiK audit. So we're not going to put them out on chain until the peer-to-peer bridges and the smart contracts there have been audited by CertiK. So we want to come out being able to show, hey, these smart contracts tested, proven. This is the next evolution. It really is when again you're looking at what crypto and blockchain were originally meant to be. The space is filled with centralized exchanges, automated market makers, and so where we're going with this in the peer-to-peer side of things is going to really open up new fostering for cryptocurrency, we believe.
Okay, great, King. I mean, local Bitcoins was one of the first. Unfortunately, they're shutting down soon, and they had a peer-to-peer. Is it similar to that? Is it like a third party holds the funds and then they're released? So, say you want to trade with someone, they're kept by a third party, and then it's the investor, gets their funds, and then you release the token to the person that you're trading with.
So it's very similar. I mean, it's no third party in the fact that it's all smart contract driven. So it's very similar to escrow, right? So if you were to come and create a listing exchange for your cake token on Binance, and you want to receive USDT, your cake would go into the smart contract. And when I want to go buy your listing, obviously my USDT goes out of my wallet, is sent to you, and then it releases from escrow, and I get your cake. So, and the best part is about these smart contracts is that there is literally no way for anybody to be able to hack the platform itself. I mean, obviously, there's always going to be a way for hack, but if you listen to me here, where I'm going with this is when you are interacting with these smart contracts for peer-to-peer trading, there's only two ways that the tokens can ever come outside of the smart contract once they're in there, and that's if the wallet creator of the listing cancels it and the tokens are sent back to their wallet, or that's if the user on the other side of the transaction goes through to the listing and purchases it itself. Other than that, there's no other way. The devs, the contract deployer, none of it has access to the smart contracts to mess with the funds. So again, there's no third party holding any of your token assets. It's strictly peer-to-peer using escrow and smart contracts.
I see, King. And you're bridging to the BSC. You're going to be offering. Is that going to be all the tokens on BSC?
Yeah, so we're currently live now on Binance Smart Chain. So that includes any token on Binance. So that could be Baby Doge, that could be Cake Token, USDT, it could be anything, BUSD. Any token that's trading on Binance Smart Chain is now available for trading on CoinBook, and kind of plays into our airdrop campaign because the more that you're listing tokens on CoinBook, you're able to earn more of our book sacks for the airdrop campaign.
Okay, great, King. And how does it work for the tax? I said there's a 10% tax on a token. How does the peer-to-peer work? Will that be built in before you actually, negotiate there? Or if I'm putting a trade up, will I build that into the model? Will there be a sort of calculator there to work out how many tokens I should be sending minus the tax?
Oh, that's actually such a good question. I'm glad you asked that because you actually avoid tax when you're trading peer to peer. So if there's a 5% buy or 5% sell or whatever it looks like, any amount of tax on a token, when you're trading on CoinBook's peer to peer order book, there is no tax. The only time that you're ever going to run into having to pay some sort of tax is if there's a wallet transfer tax on the token itself. But tokenomics, such as buy and sell tax, are not applied to peer-to-peer trading unless, like I said, there's that wallet transfer tax, which I don't see many projects doing much more.
Okay, great, King. And you're going to save on gas fees, it was saying in the white paper. There'll still be some fees when you release it into the smart contract for both parties. So where are the savings coming from the gas fees?
Yeah, and the bigger piece too, as well to it, like I kind of mentioned in the beginning, what excites me is kind of being able to see users avoid market price impact, right? You know, a lot of tokens out there that people trade back and forth. Sometimes they don't have a whole lot of liquidity, right? And if you have low liquidity, and you go to a token, you know, swap, right? You're gonna buy the token, and it doesn't have a whole lot of liquidity, and you make a big purchase. You're making a huge price impact, right? And you're gonna end up with a whole lot less tokens than you initially expected. So slippage is something. Market price is another that does not, get or that does not happen on CoinBook with peer-to-peer trading itself.
Okay, great, King, and that sort of helps new investors, I think, because they don't have to set slippages. It's easier to do P2P. I think, you know, when I was introduced to crypto, I used local bitcoins, and I picked it up very easily compared to sort of a central exchange or, your regular decentralized exchange is a bit more complex. So it's going to help mass adoption, maybe CoinBook in the future, which is great for investors. And I'm wondering if you've got educational resources for new crypto investors, tutorials and things. To give them an introduction that are joining the crypto space.
We definitely do because, you know, my friend, I definitely believe 100% wholeheartedly that there's two things to make you a successful project. Well, there's three things, and obviously number one is going to be community. But my last two things where I was going with here is collaboration and education. So first off, I believe collaboration is currency just about anywhere and everywhere you go in this world. So that's one thing that we are super big on at CoinBook. But the second thing is education, right? The only way you're ever going to be able to bring in the masses is through education. So we do. We have many educational resources, but we will be stepping them up pretty heavy this week once we get a full UI UX rebrand. Once this rebrand goes out onto CoinBook, we've done some sneak peeks, but we're talking a full overload rebrand with new trade windows, all of it, all the bells and whistles. We've taken a lot of feedback from the community so far based on their trade experience on the UI and the UX, and we've taken that in, done a whole lot of work over the last week and a half, and we are excited this week to go ahead and launch a rebranded UI UX. Not even a rebrand, more of just an upgrade. Looks totally different. It's a great mobile because over time we want to level up the platform itself for all levels of traders, kind of like we're talking about with the education side. Soon, this is the first iteration of UI UX upgrades, but the second iteration in the future will include a beginner mode and an advanced mode. Kind of what we have now is the advanced mode. For what you would see, it's more of a centralized exchange feel. But the beginner mode will be pretty simple. You can think of it almost like Coinbase, right? You're going in to convert a token to another token, select the token you have, how much you want to sell, what token you want, and then boom, it auto populates the price. Confirm, confirm, done. You know, Coinbase keeps it super easy, super simple. That's definitely the feel of the app that we want to when we release the CoinBook app in the future. Is kind of, again, a simple, futuristic thing for users to be able to interact with, but understand real easy. So aside from that, like I was saying, getting out the brand new UI UX this week, which we're super excited for. The feedback's been great on the sneak peeks, and then from there, we'll be wrapping up the Git book, which is going to be a giant, giant. I'm going to call it the library, my friends. It's going to be a giant resource for everything and anything peer-to-peer trading on CoinBook.
Okay, great, King. And is it been developed by in-house developers, or are you using a third-party app that's built this decentralized exchange with peer-to-peer Orderbook?
Everything has been built in house, my friend. We have a couple of devs. Like I said, I'm the community manager here with CoinBook. So I am the only community facing member. I handle literally everything and anything that doesn't involve coding or development work. Other than that, we have about two, three developers here on the west coast of the US, as well as one, two, or three over in Europe, Asia, and Middle East as well. So we're kind of spread out globally so we can keep working on this project 24/7, but everything will be done continually in house. We will never outsource work.
Okay, I see, King. And you've got like a sort of referrals program. I don't know if that extends out to friends and family through the book sacks. You've got Common, Rare, and Legendary. There's a book airdrop campaign for using the decentralized exchange. So you're looking to sort of mobilize a lot more people using the DEX through this. Can we go through that, how it works for users on the platform?
Yeah, that's a good next direction I'd like to take. Obviously, the book token is going to be our native platform token of CoinBook, and users can kind of get it in multiple ways, right? We're rewarding the active. I think that kind of sounds funny. We're rewarding the active, and we're also rewarding the early adopters, right? So, what does that mean for book token, and how can anybody in the audience right now get their hand on some book sacks? And it's really easy, right? First off, we want to distribute this to the masses. Let me go that and say that. We want to distribute the token to the masses. We want, again, because this token is going to be a governance token, which will allow the holders of it to kind of vote on the decisions and directions that CoinBook goes. Because, again, being a totally 100% decentralized platform, we want to keep it that way. So that's where the governance token comes into big importance for anybody who's going to be holding it. But there's three ways to get your hands on book sacks, and everybody with a BSC wallet who's done even one transaction can go to trade.coinbook.app/trade or /airdrop, excuse me. I'm going to say it one more time. Trade.coinbook.app/airdrop inside of your wallet. You can connect your wallet and see how many transactions you've done over the last 12 months inside of the Binance Smart Chain. Based on the total amount of transactions that your BSC wallet has done, you will earn free book sacks, right? So I saw a user with about 200 transactions on the BSC chain. He got about 12, 15 book sacks, right? And what are these book sacks, like you mentioned, Glenn? They're unrevealed sacks full of book, the token itself, that will reveal prior to the token launching, and then you will receive them via airdrop. So first way is just go claim your free ones based off your volume, right? We want to be able to reward the active traders, the active users out there who might want this token, right, on the BSC side of things. Step two is, and this is kind of where that referral program comes in that you mentioned, Glenn, but step two is we're rewarding everybody who just simply tweets out about the airdrop. So on that website airdrop page, you can connect your wallet, you can click share tweet, it goes straight to your Twitter, post that tweet, copy the link, go back in, verify the tweet, and boom, you just got another free book sack. And you have a chance for it to be a legendary, a rare, or a common, right? So it's not saying, hey, you're going to get one common book sack for making a tweet. No, you're going to get any of the three at total random chance. So definitely want to make sure that you can share that tweet and get a free book sack. And then your third way, like I said, this is where we are rewarding the early adopters. The third way is just use CoinBook, right? So by creating an exchange listing or by purchasing an exchange listing, you're actually earning more book sacks for all of your interaction over the first 30 days on CoinBook. So those are the three steps to maximize your free and earn additional book sacks.
I see, King. Great. And let's go into the book token. What sort of utilities are attached to the token? You did mention it's going to be a governance token. So what sort of voting rights, what sort of DAO will it be for investors? Will it be based on how many tokens they hold, so how many votes they get? And yeah, what sort of future plans for voting?
Yeah, I mean, so realistically, that's the big piece, right? Is the marketplace governance token, which would allow you as a holder to vote on the direction of the platform, right? Do you want to see us go to this chain? Do you want to see us go to that chain? Do you want to see us release this brand new UI, or do you want to see us release that UX? Should we do this event? Should we do that event? Where should this money be spent? All of these are just many lists of questions that could be proposed to the holders of book, and based on the amount of book you're holding is the power or the weight that your vote has, right? So the more book you're holding, the more voting power you're obviously going to have. Aside from being a governance token, we will be launching this pupper everywhere, right? So it's not just going to be a token that's trading on our P2P platform. It will be listed on sexes, it will be listed on dexes, and it's going to be a multi-chain token, right? So we have a core a core book. I guess that kind of sounds wrong. We have a core DAO book token, and then we have a Binance token. Every chain that we come to and CoinBook adds or integrates into its platform, book token will live on that chain, and we'll do the same thing where we are similarly awarding the users of the platform. Now, we all know every blockchain is very different, right? You have different audiences on blockchains. BSC is more to your quick early pre-sales, get in, let's go. Your ETH is more of NFTs, right? So we want to be able, every blockchain that we go to, we will be making sure that we are tailoring the experience more towards the audience on the blockchain to draw in the masses, right? Because at the end of the day, it's about making an impact with CoinBook here. So super excited for the token launch. I think it's going to be one of the bigger ones in 2023 because we're doing it properly, right? The mass distribution model is proven to work. You can look at Blur. You can look at, oh God, it just totally slipped my mind. Um, you can look at Core even, right? I mean, the mass distribution model is the meta right now. And so the way that we're setting this up is almost taking that scale to a whole nother level. Super exciting.
Awesome, King. And going back to the decentralized exchanges, there are small profits built into the transactions. What's it like compared to other decentralized exchanges? And what will the profits be used for? Will it be like buyback and burns on the token, promoting the decentralized exchange, marketing, that sort of thing?
Yeah, I mean, that's a good question. I believe SEX fees kind of range anywhere from 2.5% on some of these exchanges out there. We are coming in at just a 0.5 percent tax, or not tax, but a fee collected with a additional on BNB, just a $1 fee listing, right? So if you're creating a listing, it'd be $1 in BNB. On Core, it's 35 cents. So these might meet in the middle here soon, but very low for listing creations, and you only pay the one time for a listing creation. So you list it, somebody buys it, boom, you only had to pay the one-time fee, and that's small gas transaction, which is why we're excited to be on Binance as well. Because again, smaller, cheaper gas costs here. So these are relatively small compared to a centralized exchange. And what we'll do with obviously all of the fees that we collect is just grow our platform even further. Everything that we make in revenue is going into two places. It's going into marketing, or it's going into development, so we can keep our developers moving forward, because we have a huge roadmap. We have a huge vision. And so most importantly, we want to make sure that we can get to the finish line. So everything that we are bringing in will continue to be moving us forward one more step, baby.
Sounds great, King. Keep one step ahead, as you're going to be the first decentralized exchange offering peer-to-peer. I'm sure there'll be lots of eyes on the CoinBook, and people will be looking to copy in the future. But as you're first out of the blocks, then you're going to keep ahead of the competition and keep building through the CoinBook decentralized exchange. That'll be great for investors and the communities. So how can investors get involved apart from the book sacks? Which is a great way, just interacting with a decentralized exchange, getting some tokens that way. Is there going to be a pre-sale, a fair launch? I think that's coming up later in the month. How can investors get involved?
Yeah, it's a really good question. I mean, realistically, investors today, listeners today, your best way and best chance to get involved is just by joining us on CoinBook and start using it. Join the peer-to-peer movement, because there will be no pre-sale for the book token on any of our chains. So, if you want to get in to the book token and into our ecosystem, safe and secure and all comfy before we launch this token, you're going to want to interact with us, right? And obviously, like I've mentioned, the 3 steps of earning book token, right? You may be able just to go to the website, connect your BSC wallet, and be happy enough with those book sacks. But why not make a tweet, get another free one, and then why not just actually join join the movement, right? Because this is, again, going back to everything that was intended with blockchain technology. Over time, we've really skewed crypto with centralized exchanges and swap dexes and AMMs. This is taking it right back to its roots. So we definitely want any and all traders on blockchain to be able to be a part of this revolution with us.
Okay, great, King. And going back to the token, what's the tokenomics breakdown? Is the buy and sell tax 0% as well?
These are good questions, and at the moment we have not released any further token information such as tokenomics. I can share with you though that it will be a deflationary token. We do plan to have some deflationary mechanisms inside of the token itself to burn the supply over time. So you can kind of start with that. That's the alpha for today, and then as we get closer to the token reveal and the token launch, of course, we will be announcing all of these informations. And aside from that, like I said, the book token itself will be listed not only on our peer-to-peer exchange, but also any centralized exchange that we see fit for the token, as well as some swap dexes out there, because of course we want to be able to always reach the masses.
Great, King. And looking at the smart contract audits, you mentioned Certic there, so will they be looking at the book token and the decentralized exchange, doing work around that at Certic?
Yeah, I mean, we want to make sure that, again, safety and security are always at the forefront of our mind, but having a third party and having one of the best third party, auditing firms out there review our smart contracts would mean the world to us, but also our users, right? We want that Certic seal on our website, on our smart contracts. We can't wait to boast it. So, yes, right now at the moment, it is sitting on their desk and the peer to peer bridge contracts as well. So, every bit of who we are, code wise on the smart contracts will be audited. It's sitting with Certic now at the moment. We hope to have it back here in the next week or two.
Okay, great. And going forward, what's the sort of marketing plans over the next quarter to promote the decentralized exchange and the book token?
Well, I'll tell you, my friend, we're going on a huge AMA tour. So we will be in Telegram. Obviously, like I said, we want to, cater to every blockchain's needs. With some of my experience on Binance Smart Chain, we know where to rouse some feathers in the telegrams and some of these lounges, investor groups out there. So we will be on a huge AMA tour. I'll probably be losing my voice and sounding all raspy here by the end of the week. But even after this, in another hour and a half, we'll run another AMA. So that's a big thing is just being able to tell our story, right? And that's why we're doing so many and reaching out. That's always the key for us. We think is again just being able to tell our story. So AMA Tour is going to be a huge piece of this, whether that's Telegram, whether that's Twitter Spaces. Hell, this Thursday we will be on Binance Live with the former host of CoreDAO last week with LFG Swap. So we're excited for that because Binance Live is again another place for us to be able to share and tell the story in front of our listeners there. Additionally, we'll be doing a lot of digital marketing. As I mentioned, my background in social media. We'll be doing some Twitter campaign marketing. We'll be running even some TikTok. All right, we have some experience with TikTok creators and marketplaces out there, so we're excited to kind of bring that to life through video ads as well. And then again, it just comes back to education, my friend. Another way to market is just educating your people, educating your community, so they know how to talk. They know how to tell the story of the platform just as you do. And so again, we also are huge believers in guerrilla marketing. Word by word, mouth by mouth. So there's a lot of plans. Obviously, we'll be working with a couple different places such as BSC Daily, BSC News, BSC Scan. As I mentioned, as we continue to move chain to chain, every chain will kind of have its sort of own marketing plan. Sense.
Okay, and that leads on to sort of partnerships. You've been building partnerships you're looking to create in the future. What's happening in that area?
Yeah, my friend, one of our biggest partnerships that we're looking to finalize right now at the moment is with the CoreDAO developer team over there. We've done a full KYC and partnership application with them. We're wrapping that up, and we're hoping to have a finalized partnership with them anytime now. So that's kind of the biggest one that we've been after right now at the moment. Of course, we've done these strategic partnerships not only for social media contests with other projects, but also again just for education purposes. So you'll always see us. huge believers, as I mentioned earlier on the space guys. Collaboration is that currency. And so, therefore, we are always looking to work with other projects because that's how we're going to build the space forward, right? One of the best ways that blockchain will be massively adopted over the next few years is by all of the Web3 people here now building together for the better. So that's exactly what our plan is when it comes to making partnerships.
Okay, great, King. And going back to book stacks, you've got common, rare, and legendary. So depending on which one you get, would be depending on how many tokens you would get. And you've got the book airdrop campaign. I'm wondering how much the tokenomics has been put aside for the airdrops, and is it going to reach a certain cap and then that will finish, or will it be going on for quite a few months? Or what's the sort of timeline for investors to get involved?
Yeah, that's a really good question, my friend. So where we're at with that is a decent sized portion has been laid over for the airdrop, but not everything, because we want Book Token to also, and maybe this is a utility I should have mentioned, but Book Token will be almost like a reward or a platform reward moving forward. So even once it's launched, we will allocate for a set amount of time moving forward in the future to reward the users in Book Token, right? So even once the token launches, the airdrop has been complete, you will be earning monthly book. And we have some very other special plans. As I mentioned, that 0.5% fee earlier, we're going to be doing some fun things and giving that 0.5% fee back to the holders who are staked. And I'm not going to reveal too much on that, but guys, that's going to be a fun time in the DeFi world for us. We're super excited to make some waves with that. But that's kind of relatively where it's at and where we're starting, Glenn.
Okay, great, King. So there's going to be staking involved with the book token for investors as well. That's great. And trying to remember what I was going to ask now. Forgot. But let's take a few spaces questions, and I'll try and remember what I was going to ask you next. Aisha, I think you're asking to speak. You've got a question for King Smith at CoinBook. Go ahead.
Yeah, thanks, Glenn. Can you explain how the buy and sell orders are matched on your order book, including any matching engine that is being used? Also, has your team developed its own matching engine specifically for the decentralized exchange?
Oh, I like this, Aisha. So the matching itself is all done through searching and filtering at the moment. What we want to do in the future, what you kind of mentioned, is what the team has built for automatic matching. We want to introduce AI matching onto CoinBook in the future, but at the moment, the matching is pretty straightforward because if you have a token that you're looking to exchange for another, you can simply filter it out and see all of the order book listings. If there's not a current listing that suits your fancy, there'll be a create a listing button right there for you to create it. It's a great platform, as we've seen, because users sometimes will say, "Hey, I don't see the exchange that I want. I don't see any listings or orders that would suit my exchange." And we'll tell them, "Okay, well, just think of what you want to trade and create that listing." And sure enough, within minutes, they'll create the listing, and boom, somebody's picked it up and exchanged their listing for them. So we believe, again, where we're going to take the next level of the platform will be this AI matching for bookless automated orders. I hope that answers your question.
Yeah. And is it possible for other decentralized exchanges to access your order book via API?
So we are currently building out the API because we do want to get listed on CoinGecko and CoinMarketCap, of course. So our dev team overseas right now is building out the API so we can do all of this tracking. Obviously, like I said, one of the first few places we'll go would be CMC, CG, even Bubble Buy Bot, right? So when tokens are being purchased peer to peer, the
Hello
Telegram,
everyone
the
and
project
welcome to
Telegram's
my
Bubble
YouTube
Buy Bot
channel.
can still pick
The
up on that
project
token being sold. So the API is not yet out, but it will be here in the future, my friend.
Understood. And can you tell us from where are you obtaining real-time price information for various cryptocurrencies for your DEX? Are you using data from decentralized Oracle networks like Chainlink?
Oh, you are asking so many great questions. No, so we're actually pulling data from the entire chain itself, based on decentralized exchanges and the liquidity pools and the trading that's going on there. So we're pulling real-time market valuation. You can see dollar for dollar amounts on both sides of the exchange, right? So you'll be able to see what the dollar amount is that you're exchanging for, and what you're selling for in real time. And it'll even tell you the market valuation. Is this offer, is this exchange above market price, or is it below market price? And it'll tell you by how much. So that's the type of data that we're pulling in for market price valuations on the order book.
Got it. And can you explain the potential you see in core DAO chain and how it may contribute to the long-term growth of CoinBook?
I believe you asked, what do we see, CoreDAO being able to contribute here to CoinBook? Again, a lot of the demographic, I think this is one thing, is demographic on CoreDAO is very different from your demographic on BSC. Obviously, they share similarities in users, but CoreDAO is extremely popular and extremely new. There's a lot of brand new users on Core who have never used cryptocurrency in their life, but they were able to get in on this airdrop and really start understanding and listening. And so specifically, I believe that CoreDAO is a great blockchain for CoinBook to be a part of, and kind of be like our home chain, right? That's the first chain we launched, because one, it's so cheap. I mean, the gas fees over there are great on Core, extremely cheap. But again, it also, we're providing a service that is extremely needed, especially in some of the African regions. This peer-to-peer technology is needed. Some of the regulations, the harsh regulations that they have over there, they can't use, a centralized exchange to withdraw their funds. So they're trading peer-to-peer. You see it all the time, and so that's why on our roadmap, I will be jumping out of my seat, my guy. I mean, seriously, everyone, I'll be jumping out of my seat going crazy, because on the roadmap, we want to introduce a decentralized payment processor, right? So, what does that mean? It means being able to buy and sell crypto for fiat or fiat for crypto 100% decentralized with no centralized exchange. This will be huge. This service itself will be huge for a lot of users on any network. But again, going back to Core, kind of being our home chain, we know this is a solution that some of these places in the world, these traders in the world, definitely need. So excited to kind of expand that forward and grow with such a new blockchain. But again, also expand to many others, such as Binance and ETH as well in the coming week.
Truly amazing. Thank you. Thank you so much for answering all my questions.
Thank you for the questions, Aisha. And yeah, I remembered what I wanted to ask Kingsmith. So I was wondering, did you say the book token will launch first on the CoreDAO blockchain and then shortly after on BSC, or will it be launched at the same time? And was there a private sale or an initial IDO with a vesting period for institutional investors?
That is a good question. I'm glad you remembered it, my friend, because the tokens will launch at the same time on all chains. So that's almost going to work like seasons. So once season one, which is the 30-day campaign, ends, once season one ends, then all of the tokens will move forward to season two and launch at the same time across chains. There will be no pre-sale. There will be no IDO. We won't be doing any vesting. So again, you have to be able to get in while we're doing these season campaigns. Obviously, you'll be able to use CoinBook over time, in maybe even 3-6 months, you'll be able to use CoinBook and still earn book token airdrop rewards, as like monthly rewards. But your best way before the token launches is by interacting now with the airdrop side of things.
Okay, great, King. Let's go back to Space's question. We've got Captain Levi. You had a question for King Smith at CoinBook. Go ahead.
Yeah, thank you, Glenn. Okay, so the first question I actually have is a question regarding your website because I actually saw the fact that I noticed I was actually greeted with a prompt that a wrong chain was detected and asking me to open my wallet. So I guess that there are already wallet extensions that CoinBook interacts with. Are there plans to create your own extensions that interacts directly with whatever browser that supports Web3 wallet extensions?
Definitely, my friend. I'm trying to make sure I understood your question all the way. But right now, yeah, obviously it does read off of what your wallet extension or what your wallet is set to, right? Of course, we do have the toggle in the top right corner, so you can toggle between BSC, Core, and then, like I said, in the very next week, ETH, you'll be able to toggle between different blockchains. When you're using that toggle mode, it will allow you or it'll prompt you to get in to your wallet and switch the network. But we do plan to, again, continue upgrading the user experience on the platform. Obviously, this would come with making our own extensions, and then very, not far, but very down the line in 2023, introducing the mobile app. So users don't even need to use anything like that. They'll be able to download it from their iOS or Android device.
Okay, that actually cleared that up. So my next question is regarding the peer-to-peer system. We already understand the fact that there are trust issues because of regulatory frameworks that are usually causing problems on P2P. One of the first problems that the regulatory brings is the fact that they have the arguments where there are security risks, where they claim that P2P marketplaces are vulnerable to security risks, like traders calling off trades when they aren't supposed to. How will CoinBook be able to mitigate this, and how will you guys assure those people that these kind of activities will not even be made possible?
That's a good question. And Captain, one of the things to note is that would never be able to happen inside of this, right? Just the example that you mentioned, like for say, I make a listing of 4 cake for however much BUSD. My cake obviously goes into the smart contracts, into the exchange itself. Excuse me, the smart contract itself. Now, if you decide you want to come purchase it from me, I'll have no real way of canceling that listing while you put in the purchase order, right? As I mentioned, there's only 2 ways to get it out. Either I cancel the listing before it's purchased, which again would not affect your funds because your funds were never put into the smart contract. And if they were, you would be receiving the tokens that were put in there first. And obviously, the listing creator would receive back your tokens that you exchange, right? So that kind of dissolves that, that fear of trading peer to peer. Again, the platform itself is very safely protected by the fact that no, you have access or you have full custodian, right? It's your keys. So when the platform, if anything were to ever happen to the platform or the smart contracts, the only way to ever get any sort of funds out of the platform would be to, directly get your seed phrase, Captain, and take your seed phrase, log into your wallet, and then go into the exchange, cancel listings or buy listings or whatever it had to be. That would be the only way for funds to ever be taken off maliciously from anything on CoinBook.
Well, that's actually awesome. So that brings about my next question because I have concerns about that. Are there algorithms that track people's behavioral pattern when using CoinBook? Because when people seem to always keep on canceling out, there's supposed to be some kind of punishment system in place where maybe some kind of restrictive measure put on that account so that those kind of people won't be able to, wreak those kind of mini havocs on the system. If people keep on, misbehaving, or, for example, someone didn't agree to his own end of the deal, are there forums and avenues where they can create or make appeals to, the CoinBook team?
Yeah, I mean, so, first off, being a totally decentralized platform, we never want to restrict or punish, too hard, because then that makes us more centralized. But one of the things I can say that, will kind of speak to us in the future here, is the fact that when we get to the decentralized peer-to-peer side of things, uh, and it's crypto to fiat, fiat to crypto, we will have a system in place that's very similar to what you're kind of describing. Like a points-based system, like a credit-based system, which will, again, as you complete more, trades back and forth, it'll kind of increase your reputation, your user limits, things like that, because obviously it's pretty simple smart contract technology for the peer-to-peer trading, but of token to token. But when we take it to crypto and fiat trading, fiat to crypto trading, we want to, again, like you're kind of mentioning, like this credit system almost, that will, again, track users' activities over time, give them reputation and rewards for completing them slowly over time, building up their trust and credit inside of the decentralized marketplace. So I believe that's exactly what you were kind of talking about. And that's when I can really speak to having a program or a system out there.
That actually does answer that question. Okay, so here's my last question. Concerning the fact that aside from the fact that they run P2P exchanges, can people also run? Will there be avenues in the future where there'll be an exclusive P2P market, say like maybe an NFT marketplace and the stuffs like that?
I'm sorry, my friend. Can you repeat that question one more time for me?
Okay, so I understand that you already have a P2P marketplace for, coins and tokens, but will there be like P2P marketplace for things like NFTs and the likes?
Yes, my friend. Yes, 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 yes. Oh, yes, in the future. Sorry, I can't say yes enough because I'm excited for that here in the very future. But NFT peer-to-peer trading is definitely something that we want to bring to CoinBook in the future. Right now, we'll expand out to the EVM chains that we want. Obviously, there's going to be about 10 total EVM compatible chains that CoinBook will be available on. That includes Tron, Matic, ETH, Doge chain, Harmony, a couple other chains that we'll launch out to first, begin our campaigns on there. And then in the future, yes, we will be incorporating or integrating NFT marketplace, so to say, for peer-to-peer trading of NFTs. Yes, sir.
I'm looking forward to that. I really appreciate the detailed answers you gave to my questions. Wish you guys the very best, and I hope the CoinBook project stays bullish moonward. Over to you, Glenn. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, my friend. Appreciate it.
Thanks for your questions, Captain Levi. Let's move to Ramat. You had a question for King Smith at CoinBook. Go ahead.
Yeah, thank you, Glenn. Okay, can you tell me if CoinBook's order book is transparent and publicly accessible, allowing all the orders and the current market price of the assets being traded to be viewed by anyone? And how are you preventing front running on your decks?
Yeah, that's a good question, my friend. Um, so you kind of spoke kind of quick, but I'll try to answer everything that I heard. Obviously, it's very transparent with the market valuations that I got to touch on earlier, because it shows you the dollar for dollar amount on each side of the token trade, right? Obviously, being a decentralized exchange, we will not restrict or, again, kind of put the centralized force into token pricing, right? Like if you want to come in there and list your 5 USDT for 6 BNB, well, feel free. It's just going to go to the bottom of the order book, right? So the order book is all based on the orders themselves, right? So the closer deal you have to market value will show at the top, and then your deals that are far from market value will show at the bottom, right? We're not going to restrict or centralize, what you can and can't list. However, we will transparently show, what percentage is this above market price or below market price? What is the dollar for dollar amount on this trade compared to things like that? And of course, like I said, we have a brand new, exciting UI UX rollout this week, which will further increase users, understanding of the platform and the exchanges that they're making. So excited for that. And then I'm sorry, my friend, but ask me your second question one time. Just kind of got wrapped up on that first
Yeah,
one.
yeah, sure. And how will you be preventing front running on your decks?
That's a good question because front running bots are running on these swap dexes or even some of these centralized exchanges. They're literally reading the blockchain, waiting for you to place an order on a liquidity pool, right? That way they can time their order to come in or their swap right before yours does, right? That's not possible here with us, again, because you have no one liquidity pool, two, you don't have trades going back and forth. You have one party making a listing to sell to another party, right? So there can only be one purchase of that listing. So if it's really hard to do a front running bot on anything like that. So again, it just again eliminates anything or any interaction that you would see with these bots.
Understood, understood. Thank you so much for answering. Over to you, Glenn.
Okay, thank you for the questions, Rama. And I was wondering, King Smith, as well, with the P2E, how does it work sort of for investors with the pricing? Would there be like a top 10, top 20 price exchange for, say, Ethereum or BNB, and you'd be able to choose which person you want to make the transactions with?
So at the moment, nothing like that. We've kind of had this brought up where there wants to be users have kind of asked for like almost like a room or like some aliases or something so they can kind of be known on the marketplace to make trades, right? Like you can always hit up, King Kong 62 on CoinBook for a BTC trade, things like that. At the moment, there's nothing in place like that, but maybe with the mobile application in the future, we will incorporate some sort of, trade log system where it kind of recognizes the users who are looking out for these token trades or these token trades. I believe that's kind of where you're asking, correct, Glenn?
Yeah, I'm thinking of sort of like Binance, like you said. Yeah, they have like ratings and feedback, and the top exchange sort of prices for each sort of cryptocurrency.
Yeah, I mean that's definitely you're gonna definitely see that with our crypto to fiat, fiat to crypto payment processor. Because again, you're not using a centralized exchange, right? So it's totally decentralized. You're never going to have to go through a centralized exchange to, swap your ETH for BNB. You'll never have to go to Coinbase to swap your, anything. You won't have to swap tokens on a centralized exchange from blockchain to blockchain. You'll be able to peer-to-peer trade between blockchains with no centralized exchange, none of these sex fees, no slippage, no market price. It's a huge deal again for the users. It's for the people by the people. But of course, with a system like that for the onboard and offboard payment gateway, we definitely will be incorporating like these ratings, these systems for wallets to be, kind of tracked, but also promoted as, hey, these guys have done 100 plus, crypto to fiat transfers or peer to peer trades. So that's kind of where you'll first see it all happen.
Okay, I see, Kingsmith, and that opens up another question. Although it's decentralized and anonymous, would there in the future, would you be able to link your bank account so the transaction you do P2P would go straight to your bank instead of to your wallet?
Yeah, I mean that's a good question, and I can't reveal too much on this side of things just because it really, I mean, it hasn't been done yet in the space, and so we believe we have the perfect concept and smart contract build to put something like this together. Always, you're going to need some sort of third party when doing bank transfers and things like that. So it's kind of what we're working through at the moment and kind of staying on the hush hush about because we don't want to share too many details about it until it's out for the third party transacting. But yes, I mean that is the idea is that you would be able to simply sell your crypto and receive USD or receive your native currency to your bank account. Whether it's kind of like BitPapa where you can sell a GameStop gift card for Bitcoin, or maybe you're just connecting your bank account, transferring $500 via wire into the escrow, and then receiving ETH for it. There'll be a couple different ways, and of course, we will be doing massive pushes and education on this because we know a lot of users and a lot of our friends over in Dubai who really need that service. So we will be pushing the heck out of it when it does launch.
Okay, great, King. Let's go back to Space's questions. We've got Venice. You had a question for King Smith at CoinBook. Go ahead.
Okay, thank you so much, Ken. Yeah, as you just said that you guys will be integrating banks in future to your platform, so people might transfer their crypto to fiat in their banks, and it got me thinking that as your main motive is that traders do not need to reveal their identities or personal information while using CoinBook and without a centralized intermediary. So, how will you comply with the local laws or regulations without any KYC of users? Because in some countries there are rules that uh, people can't buy crypto or people uh, can't deposit directly into their banks with a certain limit of that amount. So, how will you comply with those laws and regulations?
Yeah, I mean, Venice, thank you for the question because it's definitely one that should be answered. Um, Realistically, being a decentralized platform, we really are going to do our research to make sure that we are acceptable to be used across any region. But let's be honest, guys. Again, this is why Bitcoin was created, right? This problem right here. You have all these banking systems, all these governments who are placing restrictions and bans on what you can do with your money. If you want to take $100 of your own money and spend it on horse poop, or you want to spend it on baby Doge. I don't care if you want to spend it on crypto or you want to spend it on farm animals. The government or the bank should never tell you what you can do with your money, right? Can I see some claps in the audience for that? Because that's the damn truth, guys. Again, these centralized powers are exactly why cryptocurrency and blockchain were set up in place or came about. And so obviously we want to respect the laws and regulations. We'll be doing a whole lot of research is what we're kind of doing now. Obviously we're already building the product itself, but it will take some time with some research and development on that side of things. But being a decentralized platform, I really, again, this is coming from the community manager, not from the dev. But this really makes me curious what anybody will be able to do to a decentralized platform. Whalecoin Talk, I see you with the hand up.
Oh, no, I
Yeah.
thought that was a high five.
Word, I like that. I like the high five button now.
Okay, yeah, I completely understand the things you just said to my question. Here's my next question. What do you think, in your opinion, how might the addition of merchant integration in CoinBook affect the platform's adoption and expand its use case? Additionally, what potential benefits could adding social features like chat rooms or forums bring to the CoinBook community and user experience?
Were you saying adding like Forbes to CoinBook, like kind of like just partnering with Forbes? I'm sorry, I just want to make sure I understood your last
No, no,
question.
no. No, I just said, what if you guys add or integrate merchant in the CoinBook and also add some social features like chat rooms or forums where people can or traders can chat each other and get to know like social features in your platform as well, so people can chat with each other.
Gotcha. Yeah, I mean, I kind of touched on that earlier, and it's been brought up by a couple of our users and traders out there, wanting some sort of place to, talk amongst themselves to say, hey, I have this for sale. Is anybody looking to buy it with this or this? Obviously, this is something that we will look into. At the moment, it's nothing that we had thought of putting on the radar, because one, I'm gonna say it again, probably said it 1,000 times in the CMA now, which is never a bad thing. But we're decentralized, right? So if you create a centralized place for users to talk back and forth and make peer-to-peer trades, it does open up the door to some extent. a risk, right? Bad actors or malicious users to try to come through and scam the way. I mean, unfortunately, it's just the way the world is built. And so, with that being said, you will see some sort of integration in the future with the mobile app when that does release on iOS and Android. You'll see the opportunity to kind of have these chat rooms and these aliases, right? So you would have your wallet, and your wallet, you would assign the alias. You call yourself whatever you want. You call yourself Dog Bowl 70, your T-shirt 61, whatever it might be. And then, T-shirt and Dog Bowl can, chat amongst themselves saying, hey, I want to sell this. Well, okay, I'll buy it with this. Boom, set up the trade, buy the listing. That will happen in the future.
Okay, that's good, very great, and thank you so much for answering my questions.
Okay,
Thank
thank you
you.
very much for the questions, Venice. Unfortunately, we've run out of time today. It's been great speaking to King Smith from CoinBook. It's really exciting stuff, what we've discussed today. I hope people realise, the change this decentralised peer-to-peer order book exchange can offer investors a great idea and a great sort of platform going forward. So I'm super excited for CoinBook, the team and community going forward. And there's a risk-free option as well. You can get book sacks and a book token airdrop campaign. So there's no risk there to investors. It's worth getting involved with the decentralized exchange and getting some free tokens early on there. And as we say, WorldCoin Talk Spaces is for education and research. We recommend you check out the website, the white paper. And if anyone's got any more questions, you can join their official socials. We've got CoinBook's logo official social here. If you go through that, or if you're on our Telegram, we've got all the links to the website and the Telegram and everything, and the official socials there as well. It's been great speaking to you today, King Smith. Looking forward to the future, and take care.
Thank you, my friend. We definitely appreciate being here, and we look forward to seeing everybody joining us on this peer-to-peer movement and getting in on that book token, guys. So we will be on the Telegram. We'll be around. Can't wait to see it move forward. Let's go, baby.
Thank you very much. I'll finish the recording. And looking forward to the future for CoinBook. And it's been great speaking.